Hey guys, this is Eric Broadus back again with another video continuing the segment Success in the Military. Last week I covered technical training in the Air Force upon graduation of basic military training. And so I have to make a correction on the prior video. I mentioned AIT. AIT stands for Advanced Individual Training, and that right there is the acronym which is used for the United States Army and the Marines. Basically, it's the same thing as tech school. But basically, with Advanced Individual Training, upon graduating basic military training, you go on to AIT school to learn and master the skills needed to further your career in the United States Army. In AIT, you'll also be given specific, say, field instruction. You know, as the Army, they have a lot of field exercises, so you're going to learn the basic skills needed to operate in different field scenario or field operations. AIT basically is the same as tech school in the Air Force. Whatever your specific career field is, you'll learn the skills that are needed for that specific job. Each school will has specific criteria. Some schools, as I alluded to with the Air Force, and some may be as long as maybe say 12 weeks. Some may be as long as 9 months. Some as long as a year. It all depends. For each particular school, you'll have the necessary. You'll be given the needed instruction. And the Army, as well as the Air Force, has basically, they have a set criteria of rules that you must follow while you continue or follow on your training before you reach your first duty station. In the Army, there's also direct duty assignment, DDA. So certain career fields in the United States Army do not require, or the government does not feel the need that there's a need to expend additional funds, you know, saying for training that they deem you can get basically on the job. But as I alluded to with any recruit in AIT, you must be, if you want to succeed, you must be disciplined. And in the military, you must learn and learn to follow and obey lawful orders. You know, obey lawful orders if you want to make it. And with the Army or any branch of service, there are no shortcuts. And when the government invests money to give you specific training, they expect a return on their investment. And the Uncle Sam's arm over military members, his arm stretches long and deep. So you want to make sure that you take the specific training that that the Army provides you. Take it seriously. I mean, it's not impossible. It's like anything else. You get in what you put out. So you want to make sure that you're disciplined. Make sure that you develop early on effective and excellent time management skills. You're going to have to learn that in the military, because they will change scenarios, or the operations tempo may change, and they want to see if you are able to adapt, because this is part of the military lifestyle. It is part of the culture in any branch of service. You must be adaptable and show discipline and be able to take orders. You must be able to follow instruction. Before we can be a good leader, we must first learn to be a follower. So if you want to further your career and succeed, you have to go along and follow the rules and get along if you desire to make it. But these courses and its instruction is very important and is crucial. Even though it may seem small right now because you're in the early stages of your career before you get to your first duty station, but the United States Army, they're still you're in a probationary period, and they're looking to see if you have what it takes or if you're the right fit before they invest more money and time and energy into developing you. They want to be sure that you're a right fit. If you're not a right fit or you cannot adapt, the Army will also, they will administratively discharge you and return you back to civilian life. So I will definitely say this to future Army recruits. Just because once you finish basic training, even though AIT may be the reins or a restriction may be taken off of you somewhat, this is a different phase in the military. And understand that in the armed forces, discipline is a way of life. That is part of the military culture, and you must be able to follow rules. As I said before, for future Air Force crews, and this is for any branch of service, the United States Army has a system, and this system has been in place and it has proven effective. And they make the changes systematically according to maybe the sign of the times or according to what the Army's needs are. But they set the rules in place, and as an Army recruit and you're seeking to further your career, you want to make sure you follow the rules. As the Army, like anything else in life, there are no shortcuts. So as in life, like with any game, the game has rules, and you have to learn what those rules are. And I highly suggest that you follow them, because if you try to take any shortcuts, trust me, the Army has had many recruits before you came along, and they know pretty much just about every trick there is to be played. So you don't want to take any shortcuts, because if you take shortcuts and you snip a little bit here and there, and you don't learn the rules or whatever it is that they're trying to train you to do, it's going to show up later. It will definitely show up later. You never know when you're going to need these technical skills or these field operating skills that they're giving you. So I would highly encourage, all new recruits, take your training that they give you, take it serious, have good time management. Obey the Army's rules. Uncle Sam has his rules in place, and the military is definitely not the place where you want to be trying to take shortcuts or try to get over. It's like basically cheating on a test. You want to make sure that you learn the material and know it for yourself, because there may come a time when you may need that specific skill, and if you did not take advantage of the training and the opportunities while you had them, then you may be shortchanging yourself. And then also, what if members of your unit are relying on you? So you want to always make sure that you prepare yourself for success. And with the Army, this right here, this is the basics, saying AIT, this is one of the basics. So you want to build a solid foundation. If you don't play by the rules and build a solid foundation going up, then basically you're setting yourself up to fail in your career at some point in time. If you develop bad habits, those bad habits are going to follow you, and they're going to catch up to you. And you don't want to waste your time, especially when you've already made it through basic training. So you want to continue. You don't want to fail after you did all that hard work and went through all of that restriction and going through the different changes that you went through just to go to tech school and then wash out. With the Army, you're only going to get, if you don't pass these courses or the training that's provided to you, you may only get so many chances, and then after that, administratively, it's going to fall into the hands of your commander. And you don't want it to come to that, because then it's up to your commander, to him or her, to decide your fate, whether or not you continue on in your career, whether or not they can give you a waiver or not. Now, in certain instances, such as hardship instances, they can give you a waiver, but you don't want it to come to that point. So definitely make sure, don't let your courses or your training get ahead of you. Manage your time effectively. Have good discipline. I understand after coming out of basic training that, you know, you're getting some freedom, and you know, you want to have a good time, and there'll be plenty of time for that. But my main thing, if you're going to succeed in the military, in any branch of service, it doesn't matter what branch of service it is, you want to develop good habits, and make sure one of those habits is developing good discipline. Second, you know, effective time management. Third is, once you are given the rules, you know, play by the rules, and don't take shortcuts, because eventually we all reap what we sow. You know, it may not catch you, you know, maybe for another year, but at some point, you know what I'm saying, the habits that you develop now while you're going through advanced individual training, those habits are going to follow you at some point in the future. So, like I said again, I want to reinforce discipline, effective time management, especially with this training that you're being given. Take advantage of it, because these courses that the Army's providing you in this instruction, it is worth college credits. So you can use this towards helping you get your degree. And then also these the discipline and time management, you know, these habits those are good habits to develop, because you're going to need those throughout your career when you decide to do, or if you decide to do other endeavors, or even when you once you get into your first duty assignment, when you decide to take college courses, which the Army will pay for, tuition assistance. But you got to get past this first, which, like I said, others have made it, and so can you. But the habits, I would say again, you know what I'm saying, in terms of your instruction, take your instruction seriously. The government never invests money in any GI that they don't expect to get a return or a payout on. And this right here is your career. So you want to take your career or your livelihood seriously, because there are a lot of perks and benefits to it. And going through advanced individual training, that's just the small part. This is just another small phase and step. So definitely discipline yourself, you know, to study, you know, obey the rules, you know what I'm saying. Effective time management, stay on top, you know what I'm saying, of your coursework and your instruction, you know what I'm saying. Know your material, master it. Third, you know, make sure don't take any shortcuts. Develop good habits now, early on, because those will follow you throughout your career. This is all I have for now. I hope this helped. Please like, unlike, share the video, subscribe, and next week I'll follow on with the United States Marine Corps. But I hope this helps. You know what I'm saying? Have a good day. Thank you for watching.